Hey yo, what's good with it? It's your boy Mr. Wilson, and you are now tuned in to WilsonBlock100 Radio. And you know, we have a very special guest with us on the block today. It's your boy Lamont. You know what I'm saying? Also, you're now known as LEJ. You know what I'm saying? How you doing, man?
What's up? Yeah, no more Lamont. He's dead.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I just found myself and I found my purpose, so I didn't need a second person to market myself under. So.
Right, no doubt, no doubt. So real quick, man, you know, first I just want to say, you know, we're honored to have you here for this exclusive interview with the Wilson Block. You know, it's been a long time coming, man. You know, you're one of the first artists I knew out here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, that's why I reached out to you, you know what I mean, bring this together and get some content for the magazine and everything. So real quick, man, just for people who may not know, can you just give us a quick background on yourself?
Well, my name is Lamont Easter Jr. I was born in Chicago, raised mostly in Pasadena. I don't really do too much besides, you know, the arts and ministry and things like that. So I'm kind of like one of those creative lab rats.
Right.
Pretty cool, down to earth dude.
Right.
You know, that's basically pretty much it.
Right. No doubt.
Don't hang around too much.
Right. Hey, so, you know, you're no stranger to the arts, man. You know what I mean? You do it all. I mean, you're just like me. You know what I mean? Production in its entirety. You know what I mean? Like we said earlier. You know, and I came around when you were, you know, producing music for, you know, Black Axe, another Pasadena rapper, you know, and you actually recorded, you know, songs for, you know, one of my mixtapes, you know what I'm saying? I think it was the West Kept Secret V3 EP.
Yeah.
Or so, you know, this is like 09, you know what I mean?
I forgot about that too.
Yeah, man. You know, this is what I'm remembering. This is how I see you, you know what I mean? Like, you're that guy. So, you know, what was it like, you know what I'm saying, were you just a straight music producer then? You know, we're talking 08, 09. You know, I know Alex, Black Axe had, you know, a project that was ready to launch and everything, and, you know, you kind of had a lot of production on there.
Well, yeah, back then I was more so into music because me and Black Axe were actually hooked up in high school. I'm older than him, but we had a little high school time before I left.
Pasadena High.
Yeah, Pasadena High. So after I graduated, I started getting more into the music thing, and I met a mentor. Shout out to Tack Boogie.
Tack Boogie, whoa.
So he was my production mentor back then, and so we started putting together even bigger projects, you know, because I was the type to produce artists and stuff back then, and I was still shy to get on the mic back then, so I wasn't really doing much songs myself.
Right.
But back then, music was kind of like the main thing, but once I kind of detached from the music stuff, I became an entrepreneur and lost my job, all that. Well, I got fired, but that's another story. After that, around 2009 is when I started becoming an entrepreneur. Yeah. And so that's how I just started learning how to do websites and how to do this and that, and got into photography and video and all this other stuff. So I basically started getting into the whole aspect of media, and music was just a part of that. So and you also produced for Young Indo. What happened? What's up with Young Indo, man? Yeah, he's formerly known as Young Indo. He kind of had like a realization of himself too.
Right.
He's now Young Inspiration, so still YI. Right. So he's more into the gospel thing. He's an engineer now.
Okay.
I think he just started working construction. Kind of put some money in his pocket.
Right.
And so he's more into ministry and the gospel music and stuff now. So I'm proud of him because I remember he was still kind of straddling the fence when I met him at a showcase. But he's grown a lot. Yeah. Physically and spiritually. So.
Well, they had that showcase at Morongo Casino.
Oh, Pachanga.
Pachanga. Yeah. Well, did he perform? He didn't perform that day.
I don't remember him performing.
He was there though.
Yeah, he was there. He was part of the showcases before that.
Okay.
But the guy that was producing that, he was like one of those snaky type
janky
guys.
Promoter.
Yeah, he was like a janky promoter. He was in the industry, I guess, a little bit behind the scenes, so he kind of used that. He was older and stuff, so they try to use their old, you know, leverage to do new stuff.
Right.
But alongside that, he was doing people dirty and have people work for him for free and promising them stuff and all of that.
Wow.
And so that basically was just an experience.
Right.
Like many other things.
And we learned from that, huh?
Yep.
Excuse me. So real quick, man, let's talk about some of your upcoming projects. I know when we talked off the record, you said that you were moving more towards just production in general.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, all the stuff that I'm into, music, dance, video, poetry, all that stuff is basically going to be centered on video production. Because video production can showcase all of that stuff.
Right. I mean, multimedia is the ultimate.
Yeah, multimedia as well as transmedia. I know people probably don't know what that is, but they'll get hip to it soon. So basically, what I want to do now is I want to have my own, basically like my own version of Netflix. I want to create my own content and promote brands and things like that within that, and charge people a monthly subscription. And I want it to be more so faith-based and family-oriented. Not meaning it's going to be all like, what's that Ice Cube movie that he made, the little family movie?
Are we there yet?
Yeah, are we there? It's not going to be stuff like that.
Right.
Only. Like, it's still going to be different genres, horror, comedy, things like that, but it's just all going to have spiritual messages, and it's going to promote the gospel as well, and be some entertainment for people that just don't want to have, you know, all the worldly stuff out there, but still want something real and raw and quality. Right. Because, you know, Christian media is kind of like, they still have that stigma of being corny, which I think a lot of it's corny myself, and too safe. When I say safe, meaning they don't want to touch on this and that because they feel like, oh, it's not godly. But we still in this world, and there's still a lot of stories to tell, but you can always relate it back to a positive message. So that's what I want to do with that. Okay. And I want to target the Christian audience, which is, there's a lot of us out there, but nobody really wants to make content for us that we can enjoy, that we can get a good story out of, besides just people getting killed and drugs and sex and all that. With no message at the end. It's just, that was just it. And so I feel like I'm going to be the Kirk Franklin of film production in a sense. So that's my main baby now, because I've gotten to a lot of things being a business person and all that. But now I'm going to center it on my video production. I'm going to Los Angeles Film School to sharpen my overall production. It's not to be on the camera for NBC and none of that stuff. I just want to know everything so I can be a better producer, and therefore build my channel and everything. So that's the project I'm working on, with many projects inside of it. So. Okay,
nice. That's awesome, man. Yo, you know, this just came to my mind, man. I just want to revert back to, you know, some of the artists that you worked with real quick. Zarky, you know, you worked with Zarky, you know what I mean, my former foster brother, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, Zarky, you know, he's done a lot, you know what I mean, for a young guy his age, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And for you guys to work together, I think there's just, you know, there was something there, you know what I'm saying? There was, how was it working with Zarky, man?
Yeah, it was Zarky and, there's another guy, right? T-Ran.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you worked with T-Ran, too?
Yeah, they was together.
No doubt. Delphi Concepts.
Yeah, Delphi Concepts. Right. Yeah, I did a couple of tracks with them. I don't know. I guess we kind of just all went separate directions, but
that's kind of what Zarky said about Delphi Concepts. Everybody kind of, were you part of Delphi Concepts?
No, well,
not formally, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know, because it was just kind of like one of those put my toe in the water type things. So I guess I was a staff producer at the time, but I didn't really look at it as that. It was pretty cool working with them. They were mature and focused and all of that. I didn't have to worry about extra drama and who gonna be at the house and, you know, all that type of stuff. So it was pretty laid back and focused like I am. So it was pretty cool. And they had some pretty good music.
Yeah. So you know about the 8 Flavors mixtape?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Did you make anything for that, or that was all covers, right?
Yeah, I think that was mostly stuff they did on their own, because I kind of like phased out afterwards. Yeah. So.
Hey, I just want to say, man, the Change Gon' Come track you did, that was an awesome sample. You know what I'm saying, that you put in there. Change Gon' Come, you know, the Sam Cooke. I just thought that was, the way you flipped it was hot.
That was actually used, that track, I had to cut it up for like 30 seconds. I don't know if people know Bishop Harold Jackson from out here too. He had a talk radio show for a while, and he wanted to use that as his theme song. So I almost threw it away, because I threw away all my sampled beats, but I kept that one, and right after he asked me if he can use that, so it still carried on, so to speak.
Okay, nice. So yeah, man, you know, when we started the show, you know, we kind of touched on your new alias, but just formally, why LEJ? Where did you get LEJ, and why an acronym?
Well, it's basically just my name and initials, Lamont Easter Jr. Right. And so I figured, you know, since
it's not LEJ, right?
No. LEJ, kind of like TD Jakes type of thing.
Right, okay.
But once I found myself and I realized what God was calling me to do was to, you know, be a minister of the gospel, I realized that I don't have to have an alias. I could just be me. Right. Everything is coming out of me. I kind of use Lamatic as something because it sounded cool, and
it does sound cool.
Yeah, it still does. But I felt like it was a different person. Like Lamont was
An alter ego.
the alter ego, the one that
Right.
was not shy, and the one that
Right.
was like creative, and the
Right.
one that liked to be around people and
Right.
things like that. But I realized all that was me. In the beginning, I just didn't realize it until
Right.
I got closer to God, and He started taking all the veils off of me, and I saw myself in a different light.
Right.
And so I figured, and plus I'm a junior, so my dad's name is Lamont Easter, so
Okay.
I figured it'd be kind of like being myself as well as helping leave a legacy for my
Right.
father as
Right.
well.
You
So,
honoring that legacy.
yeah, so it's
Right.
kind of like a two-edged sword type of thing. So.
Okay. So once you put all that together, you were confident in making that name change.
Oh yeah, I had to make new social media pages and everything,
Right.
but it's kind of like starting from scratch. But
Right.
I'd rather start from scratch, go in the right direction, than trying to waddle in something that's not, that's not me. So.
Right. I feel you. That's what it is, man. So LEJ, you know what I'm saying? That's who Lamont is today, and don't get it wrong, y'all. So let's talk about some current and upcoming projects. What are you working on these days?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I'm starting to work on my online video network. I just met with my website people yesterday because I don't want to just do some, template-based website. I want it to be like on point all the way down to the coding.
Right.
And so, and there's specific things that I want. So, and they believe in the vision, they believe in the cause. And so they were basically a godsend. I just had a meeting with them yesterday. So I just got to pay them a very small amount for what they're doing.
Right.
And build my site up so I can launch by 2016.
Okay.
And within that, I still want to do like a remake of Thriller, Michael
Right.
Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah, you
but it's
did
gonna,
that.
Yeah, it's gonna be even bigger than the little pilot I put out.
Okay. Yeah. No. So why Michael Jackson's Thriller? What made you want to flip that?
Well, because
It was very impressive, by the way, man.
well, things, but that really was nothing compared to what I wanted it to be. It was just something I wanted to hurry up and get the idea out.
Right.
But I'm a big fan of horror, and I'm a big fan of dance, of course.
Right.
And so the zombie dance thing, the Thriller thing, was basically like the perfect mesh for that.
Right.
And it's something that everybody likes, whether they like scary movies, whether they like Michael Jackson or not, whether they like dance or not. Everybody loves Thriller. They play it around Halloween every year, and it's been like 30-something years. People still do the dance, so I figured it would be tight to take something that's classic. I mean, that's what hip-hop people do anyway.
Right.
Take something that's classic and flip it into modern times.
Right.
And so I figured that would be a way to get great exposure, as well as honor someone who inspired me to dance and to just create, period.
Right.
And I wanted to flip it to a whole new message, too, and kind of like use it as a fishing reel to have somebody see something with some type of value, but still be entertaining and raw.
Right.
So that's why I decided to do that.
Right. And you wrote the lyrics, you choreographed the moves, performed the moves, and shot the video, and edited the video.
Yeah.
All of it. You did all of it.
That's another reason why I want to do that too, so it could be something to showcase everything that I'm into in one project. So.
Right.
As well as help other people. So.
Right. And then Fight for the Vision, which I think is an amazing track, man. I just thought that was the message, and it was good. The lyrics were on point, and you shot the video to it. You was busting your own moves. That's when you had the Cobalt. You know what I'm saying?
The Chevy Cobalt. Yeah, that's when I had first bought my little HD camera. When they first started coming out, my little handheld thing.
Right.
I actually was thinking about re-releasing that song on Bandcamp. I'm not sure yet.
Why not? I think I got at you a couple years ago, like, what happened to it, right? Didn't I?
I almost shot like a professional video with these two guys, but kind of, once again, like, people do their own thing, and it kind of just fell off.
Right.
And I wasn't really doing the whole artist thing anymore, so I was like, I don't really need the video. But I still might redo the video.
Right. And so you recently, performed at Walt Disney Hall. It was like a year ago, something like that.
Yeah, like 2013 or something, I believe.
Yeah, and what did you perform?
What they did was they had a youth orchestra event, so it's kind of like a charity, I guess. Inner city youth of Los Angeles or something like that. A lot of blacks and Mexicans doing, actual music, which I thought was cool. They had this event to doing all these different classical pieces of music and stuff like that. And so one of the parts in the show, they had a Michael Jackson tribute section. So they basically instrumentalized some of his songs, and so they wanted some dancers to come out on the Billie Jean one as a surprise addition to the act. And so some guys that I know that actually do Michael Jackson impersonations asked me if I wanted to do my little hip hop thing. And so I was the first one to come out to get it started, and so I just killed it. I didn't dress up like him or nothing like that, because that's not what I do. I'm all about being myself.
How many people were there?
It was...
I mean, they had levels, right?
Yeah, it was...
I mean, that's the Walt Disney Hall, you know.
It's probably like a couple thousand, maybe a few thousand or so. I don't even know, because all I know is it was packed. I knew my moms and my sisters that got in there. My dad was at work, so he missed it. He had to catch the video, but I knew they was in there, so they amped me up even more and all of that. And so that was a real dope experience, because I had never danced to live music like that before, and for it to be an orchestra, not just a regular band. That was super dope. Like, I wanted to do that over again. Like,
I mean, yeah, I thought it was cool to look up and like, yo, it's at the Walt Disney Hall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that too. Like, who can just walk up in something Disney and just kill it like that?
Real talk.
And I got paid to do that. I've done stuff that was even harder than that and got nothing, and I got paid to do that. So
no doubt, man. God is great, man.
Oh yeah, all the time.
So yeah, speaking of that, you know, speaking of God being great, you know, hey man, it's been a long time coming. You know, I've known you for what, 6, 7 years, 8 years maybe. You know,
yeah, something like that.
Something like that. But you know, I hear you have an upcoming engagement.
Yeah, I plan on getting engaged to my baby cakes, as I call her, Ashley Manley. She's also into music, more so in the worship and gospel and things like that. Well, Christian music, I should say.
Right on.
She used to do R&B, but God called her, you know, to the other side. So we've been together for a little over a year now, as far as dating. We met in like the beginning of 2014.
Okay.
And I just feel that in my heart that she's my wife, so I plan on getting engaged before this year is out and marrying her next year. Okay. So we can get that thing started.
Man, during the 1 year anniversary, you're gonna hear this interview back and laugh at it.
Yeah, so we're kind of just getting our stuff together on the personal tip. As far as, you know, status and, you know, income and things like that. You know, the stuff you have to prepare for before you merge with somebody. So kind of giving each other
that time.
Yeah, some time to do that. And, you know, as well as get closer to God, because if we can't trust God and love God, then how are we going to do that for each other? So we're kind of giving some more time to God and just see each other a little less often. I don't even know why I'm saying this. It's probably for somebody else out there.
But you know, you put things in perspective. And you know what? Just for the record, you know, I just want to say, you know, when I just reflect on who I know you to be, you know, you're a positive role model, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like I strive to be, you know? And so, you know, I want to share that with you, because there's not many people I can say that about, you know?
Appreciate it.
So yeah, real quick, you know, when you do a lot, you know what I'm saying? You know, when I look at some of your stuff, it's like, you know, where did he pull that from? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did that idea come from? Where did that vision come? You know, where do you draw your inspiration from when you're creating new projects, new music, new dance moves, or new, you know, or even just like putting a video together?
Well, I would have to say, I get my main inspiration from the creator of all, which is God.
Amen.
And I know that for a fact, because as much as I'm into media, I don't really watch TV. I don't really listen to a lot of new music and stuff like that. But every time I like think of an idea, even if I don't go forward with it, I think of ideas, and then I'll look up, or I'll read an article, or I'll hear somebody talk about something, or I'll see a new show come out, and they'd be like, that's exactly where it's headed. Like, the idea that I just got is exactly where it's headed. And so God basically gives me my ideas, inspiration also from other artists. I don't really have favorite artists. I don't have favorites on anything. It's just things that I like, people that I like. So anybody, it could be a random person that did a song that I like or something, can influence me or inspire me. So everybody that's creative out there is my inspirations, especially if they do positive and spiritual you know, messages in their work of art, and not just entertain. We want to entertain, because that's what we need as human beings. It's always been around. We always want stories. But when there's nothing to the story, then that's when I kind of shy away from it. So,
and you know, that I try to stress that a lot, that, you know, it's not just about being talented, you know, but, you know, what we say and what we do influences other people, you know what I mean, whether we accept it or not, you know what I mean, whether we like it or not, you know. And that's why I choose to be a positive role model, because if you don't, then you're just, you know, you don't want to be held accountable for how you influence other people. You know what I mean?
And that's what our gifts are for anyway.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
The money comes after.
Man, make the money, don't let the money make you. You know what I'm saying? Just like that, man. So, but all right, so who are some of your key influences? Like, who are some of the art? Of course, Michael Jackson, you know, but who are some of the key people that, you know, before you were even an artist like that, before you were pursuing it, you know, who are the ones that, you know, was like, wow, I want to, you know, do something like that one day?
Well, my top ones are, like you said, Michael Jackson. Overall,
number one?
Yeah, that would be number one.
No doubt.
Dr. Dre, as far as his musical sound, Sade.
Wow, nice.
I know some people my age and older know about her.
Yeah.
Those are, I guess, some of my top ones as far as music and just creativity.
That's heavy. Those are heavy, man.
As far as like poetry and film and all the other things, basically just anybody that does something I like.
Right.
But those are my top ones growing up because that's what I was into, was dance and music before I got into the other stuff.
And those were the people that made you wanna, you know, do art.
Yeah. Mainly Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson did so much too.
Yeah.
So he made you want to dance. He made you want to make music. He made you want to watch things. He made you want to get up and move.
Right.
Made you want to learn stuff. So he was basically my top one.
Right.
And then that kind of carried over into music and other stuff. So.
Right. Okay, so dance. You know what I'm saying? You know, when we he said that, you know, that kind of, you know, got swept under the rug, you know, not like that, but, you know, on the back burner compared to, you know, your network idea and everything else that you're doing. You're also about to go to school, or you're in school right now.
Yeah.
What school are you going to?
Los Angeles Film School in Hollywood, to learn overall film production so I could be a better producer.
Right.
It's my third month now. I'm going for my bachelor's, and I'm loving it already. So
nice.
Learning the stuff that I didn't know on my own.
Nice, right. All the formalities.
Yeah.
Right. So, but dance, you know, so what made you take more of an interest to other things than dance? Because you dance well, man. You know what I mean? Actually, you performed at the Pachanga event, and you killed it. You know, and it was that one beat that you had, man, that, oh, it's just ridiculous, man. It's just like some old Chicago gangster sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was probably.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, it was probably Shine Like Diamonds or something.
Yeah.
Actually, a youth artist made a song to that. I don't know what they did with it yet. She's like 10 or something. She raps, so she's pretty good. But anyway, well, the dance thing, I guess, was kind of like the door opener to other things. And even as a dancer, I always had the entrepreneurial mind. I always wanted to do stuff out of the box. So I always was thinking about, what can I do with dance mixed with other stuff.
Right.
So I thought of a dance network idea, a dance company, and video, some type of video endeavor.
Right.
So I never was the type to just go on auditions and try to be in people's video, because I felt like, for what? And second, doing other things in my personal life, I didn't have time for all that.
Right.
So I was like, I'll make it happen myself, because we have the tools now. But dance kind of now took the back burner because I just got so much into other stuff, and then ministry and all that stuff.
And then now going to LA Film School, you really had to make that commitment.
Yeah, school and everything. But plus the producer thing kind of took over, so I really don't feel like I have to be the one on camera or on stage anymore.
Right.
You know, I still love it. It's just not. It's not my main avenue. It's just not what I'm going for like I used to.
Right.
I just want to just create and produce.
Right, no doubt.
Whether I'm in it or not. Like, you know, like Tyler Perry, he has Medea. Sometimes he's in the movie, sometimes he's not.
Right.
So things like that. That's just...
Exactly.
So I still want to recondition myself and get back into some dance stuff. Like maybe teach classes, or just... you know, help choreograph stuff for youth or something. Kind of like, you know, our coaches, they used to play, but now they sit on the bench and they help other people.
Right.
That type of thing. 'Cause I'm almost 30, so the dance thing,
you're still young,
tired quicker. And,
you're still young. I remember when you were 23. Wow. Now that's what? That's been almost 7 years, right?
Yeah.
I remember you were 23, man.
I wish I still was. With the knowledge I know now, I wish I was still 23.
Wow, so you're 29.
Yep, I'll be 30 in November.
Oh, wow.
A couple of months
from
you're
now. 30, man. You know what I mean? You know, I always feel that extra age, like, you know, 6 months prior. You know what I mean? 6 months prior to the birthday, I feel like, oh, I'm already that age. So when that day comes, I'm like, yeah, I was already 25. Like, you know what I mean? Or whatever. But yeah, man, so What about like upcoming perform? You got any upcoming performances?
Not really, because I'm not really in that arena anymore.
Right. The production end, right?
Probably the last time I even danced for a church was probably a few months back. I did one dance with my girl Ashley, and then I did one by myself, a repeat. And then before that, the last dance I did at church was last August. I did a inspirational song that it was very powerful to me. It's actually on my YouTube called Better. The song is called Better. But ever since that, I haven't really been doing much dance stuff. So I don't know if God asked me to start doing it again, I'll do it. But right now, I just don't feel like that's the area that I need to focus on right now.
Right. So you're becoming less of an artist, more of a producer.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you feel like that's what your calling is?
Yeah, on the earthly side, yes.
Right.
To produce, not only produce projects, but produce fruit.
Right.
You know, inspire people, oversee people, things like that.
Right.
So,
Direct.
Yeah.
No doubt, man. That's
just to make things happen, basically.
All right. So, what goals do you have for yourself? Where do you see yourself? At least 5 years from now. I know that's you don't really want to just put it out there, but at least just touch on some of what your goals are as far as.
Yeah, I always struggle with that type of question because you never know what's gonna happen. Like,
right.
I had the rug swept from under me many times on things I thought I was gonna be doing.
Right.
Not to say that it was bad, but it just wasn't what
just
God
didn't work out.
wanted me to do. Yeah.
Right.
Or I might have not focused on it enough, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But I do see myself, of course, married. Couple of LEJs running around.
Right on. Hey, moms want some grandchildren. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, grandchildren. They already waiting. My future sister-in-law, they already be stealing her kids already. So we'll have some free babysitters for sure.
Right.
But yeah, so family definitely very wealthy. I plan on having my network, to millions. I'm just gonna say it, millions of subscribers. Right. Whether it's a niche audience or not, they're still out there. So I plan on having millions of subscribers on my network. Family, a wealth of steady income. Yeah. And just a better man of God, a better minister.
Right. And speaking of that, man, me personally, I'm just going to, real quick, I just want to say, I've been seeking God, lately. Would you happen to have, I've been reading my Bible, just looking for, things that I can get, that can take to help move forward and uplift me. Do you have any Bible verses that you just want to share with us? I mean, it wouldn't hurt.
So many. There's one in Psalm 66, I think it's verse 12. You should definitely read that when you're going through stuff.
Okay.
Psalm 66, 1 through 12. The last verse of that says, I'm going to paraphrase. This is speaking to God. You took me through the fire and through the water. Men trampled all over me, but it was all to bring me to a wealthy place. So all the things that we're going through is all to bring us to a wealthy place, because all things work together for good. That's another scripture. Okay. For them that love God and are called to his purpose. And so we have to remember those things, that when we go through our things, it's for a reason. It's not just, because we did something wrong or because God's mad at us or whatever. Sometimes God allows things to happen so it can shape and mold us. Right. Everybody says that, our experience is what makes us. Yeah. And that's true.
It is.
And it could be good or bad. It's up to how you direct it.
Or how you perceive it. How you choose to perceive it. Right.
Or what path you continue to go on. Right. You can stop something, you can start something. Right. And so that's one of my favorite scriptures now. Nice. That you brought me to a wealthy place. Nice. There's so many other ones. Right. No, that's good, man. I get a lot of revelations. I had to write it down and stuff. Like one scripture can just make me.
Yeah, actually, before I left the house today, real quick, man, I had to write down a whole bunch of Bible scriptures that I was circling as I was reading the Bible. So in my notebook when I'm out and about, I can have some empowerment. Along my way. And as you can see, just different stuff. Mainly Proverbs. I mean.
Us as writers, we love Proverbs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's one for every day of the month. You know what I'm saying? So there's just a lot of food in there. And, I think that, we should, spend more time, with the Bible, and just, try to get something from it. Have an open mind and, take things for how it really is. You know what I'm saying? You know, we can't you know, run from the truth, man. You know what I mean? We gotta, you know, have conviction. You know, we gotta, you know, be real with ourselves. You know?
Yeah, and real with God too.
Absolutely.
Because you got a lot of fakers out there, and I spoke about that one time when I taught on how to give glory to God, and I was basically telling people what we're really supposed to be focusing on, not all this extra church stuff and religious stuff.
Right.
And I don't know if people notice, but even on the filtered mainstream news, you can see that we're in the last days. That's not even counting the stuff they hide.
Right.
And so people really need to see that the Word of God is the truth. It's not just something somebody wrote. It's not just something somebody latched onto because they were raised that way.
Right.
It really is the truth. There's so many different... So y'all gonna get me to...
Right.
I never consider myself a preacher, but that's what I'm called to do. But y'all gonna have me preaching now.
Right.
But we are in the last days, and that's gonna be one of my projects, matter of fact.
The last days?
Yeah, a dance joint. But
no doubt.
we are in the last days, so I would suggest to people to get right with God, find Christ, because all this other stuff is just a distraction. There was probably like 100 denominations just before the 1800s because of man taking the pure, simple truth and twisting it to all this other stuff. And that's what is still happening today. Whether it's other religions or other philosophies or no philosophy, that it's in itself is a religion too, whether you believe or not. So I would just encourage people to seek God, because you're not going to find him unless you're looking for him. He's not just going to pop up and be like, yo, I'm the truth, I'm here. You're going to have to look for him yourself. You have to have your personal relationship. You can't just rely on the preachers and the pastors and all that. We have to seek God for ourselves. And that's what I had to learn to do when I was running from what God was calling me to do, because I didn't want to look like, you know, the minister and
the typical stereotypical.
Yeah, the stereotypical church nigga and all of that.
Right.
And so I had to seek God for myself, and that's when I started to see a lot of stuff that is unnecessary.
Right. Me too.
And I started to see what is necessary. And so that's seeking God for yourself and finding him through Christ. So
it's rewarding.
That's what I have to say about that.
Right. All right, no doubt, man. Hey, you know, do you have any? Okay, if a a young local artist came up to you right now and he says, you know, I want to be an artist someday. You know, what I mean, what positive, encouraging words would you have, or just some advice would you have for aspiring artists?
For aspiring artists, you talking about in music or just any type of?
You know, anyone who wants to do something in the arts. You know.
Well, two things.
Because you know, pursuing art is a challenge in itself.
Yeah. I definitely would want to say, make sure that's what you want to do. Make sure that's what you feel your purpose is to do. Because if you don't have a sense of purpose behind something, you're just gonna be just fading in the wind when things happen. Because
drifting.
You have to have the passion and the purpose and the drive behind it. Otherwise, you just have a thought and you're just trying to do all this extra stuff for it. So as soon as the hurdles come, it's going to be easy for you to quit, because there's nothing to drive you. So make sure that's what you want to do, first of all. Second of all, stay focused on it. I know that's probably a cliche, but that's when we get discouraged. Sometimes we need to hear that. Like even strong people like me, sometimes we feel like, man, this sucks, and when is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? But if we just stay focused on something, it's bound to happen. You know, one of the wisest quotes I ever heard was, you only fail if you quit. And so make sure you stick to it after you realize that it is what you want to do, or called to do, or whatever. And the third thing is, as far as the business side of things, in these times, keep an open mind for franchising yourself, branding yourself, because everybody's creating content nowadays because it's so easy. You can just do it right on your phone. And so think of yourself as a brand. Think of yourself as a franchise. Think of beyond just a project. Think beyond just a song, a film, a piece of poetry.
Think company.
Yeah,
think longevity.
Think longevity. Think company. Think about collaborating with other people in the arts to build other projects beyond just the main thing that you produce. Because with so much content out there, and so many, you gotta be
versatile, man.
Yeah, so many people trying to do stuff. It's just, it's harder to it's harder to surface yourself above all of that
than ever before.
So if you're just doing the same thing, it's like you're just gonna look like another ant in the trail. And so think of yourself as a franchise. Stick to it. and make sure that's what you want to do. That's what the 3 things I would have to say about that.
Okay, no doubt,
And
man.
I follow that myself. So
Right on, right on. All right, Lamont, man, it's been awesome, man. Thank you for coming through for this exclusive interview with the Wilson Block. Man, you got any shout-outs before we cut out?
I want to give a shout out, first of all, to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for giving me the breath of life.
That's right.
So that, and then my parents, Sheila and Lamont Sr., and my girl, Ashley Manley, and her family. Shout out to y'all, Wellsprings Christian Center in Altadena. And just everybody out there who's trying to do something positive and just, just living. Just live your life. Don't think so much about everything, but just try to find the truth within that.
Right. No doubt, man. You heard it first here on Wilson Block 100 Radio. It's your boy, Mr. Wilson, and you just heard this exclusive interview with LEJ, formerly known as Lamont. For y'all who don't know, it's LEJ now. And until next time, we out.
Deuces.
All right.